Hello, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone is having a wonderful rainy day because, yes, you guys, it is raining cats and literal dogs in here in Los Angeles. Imagine that literal dogs and cats are raining on us. So we are making it rain. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Bonnie. Cherise. Hi, Kiana. Cajun. So many of you guys. So nice to see you all. Hi, Miranda. Thank you. Polka Brew, the first one. Hi, Jane. Brendan. Open season. It's not raining there. 32 degrees. Good to see all of you guys. Yes, Ron Kibble. Let's bring the duckies in. Let's bring the duckies in. Because guys, as much as apparently OSA has no sense of humor and no sense of humanity left, if they really want to say that we're deranged because we're calling them duckies, I mean, please, OSA, like what in the literal hell? Like, take a joke. Stop taking yourself so damn serious. It's really what it's giving. Stop taking yourselves so damn serious. Come out of your buildings, answer the questions. And if y'all cannot answer the questions, ask yourselves, why am I not able to answer questions? Because that's all that's being asked of y'all, to answer questions. And yes, you do have the right to remain silent. That's very true. And y'all can continue locking yourselves up in those hotels. You have the right to do that. Continue locking yourselves out. But it's become very evident there are kids inside of those hotels and commercial buildings that y'all are living it up in. And as much as all 21 and up can sign up to be part of your hotel and culture, we are decrying the fact that 21 and under kids are in no way, shape, or form, in any way, shape, or manner, able to consent to anything that L. Ron Hubbard ever wrote. All culminating to the three things that Scientology is: ethics, no minor can consent to that. Audits, no minor can consent to that. And last but not least, grooming courses. There is no world in which children underage, unable to consent, can be expected and groomed to participate in whatever in the hell y'all are saying is very religious for yourselves. Again, no one is here to question or police what in the hell y'all do to each other. But every last shred of child that's there right now, in what world are they being told that they're being adults in small bodies? OSA. In what world is that? Because answer that question. It's being asked of you. So in case you have still not understood what the questions are, those are the questions. Why are you still recruiting minors inside of those hotels? Why has not a shred of executive repudiated what in the hell they were doing to kids? Kids. That's all that's being asked right now, right this second, in this year 2024, here today. with everyone that's here right now, there's 318 people right now that want to know, why are kids implicated? Our communities are getting educated on the facts and they are up to speed. And we're not sitting here gossiping or yapping or blabbing or trying to make anything clickbait, nothing. We don't give an F about the clicks or the bait or none of that. Literally could care any less. So just answer the question, why are children going inside y'all's installations? That's not just a question for OSA, by the way. That's a question to every last Scientology parent, current and past. If y'all really thought that crossing the threshold of a hotel on your way out when it got back to you means a lot, breaking XeNews. It means nothing. Parents that implicated their kids and snared them inside of this hotel culture, all full knowing, achieved nothing by walking out. Nothing by sitting on their laurels, licking their wounds, making it all about themselves. Imagine you're a parent that literally child trafficked your own child with full impunity, all full knowing, all getting all manner of special financial help as you dumped your kids in a culture that you're being asked to defend today in this year 2024. Today. We don't give an F about what's been said and, oh, we really have talked a lot. Talking means nothing. That's where you go. You guys are literally being called ducks. So get the joke already. We are allowed to joke. We are allowed to do that. We do have that right in the Constitution. So if also you don't like it, we get it. But trust, we're going so easy on y'all calling you ducks. Literally so easy on you guys getting called ducks. Adults who don't give a fuck about kids. All Scientology parents and executives went with the pitch, children are adults in small bodies. That is what's being questioned today. So if that made a lot of sense 20 years ago, check in front of a mirror real quick and see if that's making a lot of sense today or if it's not making a lot of sense today. It's really that simple, you guys. It's really, literally that simple. As we continue getting attacked on the streets. So yeah, breaking XeNews, confident Chris remains confident AF. Lucky for them, OSA, they weren't programmed as kids to be fearful of y'all. And they are adults, believe it or not. They might look like kids, but they are adults in adult bodies. And they are concerned citizens, believe it or not. There are those in America who care. So I know that's breaking news to all of you inside of that hotel. We'll get it through your thick skull already. There are plenty of concerned citizens. We have a diverse community of concerned citizens, OSA. People that have gone to school, believe it or not. People that have gotten degrees outside of y'all's hotel, believe it or not. Their fathers, their mothers, and there's a bunch of young ones too, whose eyes have been opened because they realize that whatever happened to me, whatever happened to Liz Gale, what happened to Nora, whatever happened to Liz Ferris, whatever happened to Jenna Miscavige, whatever happened to Aaron Smith-Levin, whatever happened to every last shred of voice that has been pleading Miriam Francis for help, Ben Francis, plenty of names. So as much as you really have tried your best to dehumanize us when we were children, and then the corporate media dehumanizing us as we did grow up, as we did go and knock on doors, as we did tell them what in the hell was going on inside of those hotels, all so they could play dumb. Imagine. So members of OSA, you may believe yourselves to be cunning and spinning your web of denials and alleged coincidences. However, the truth has an uncanny ability to pierce through even the most meticulously crafted facade. It's very uncanny. Trust that that truth will inevitably set you free. So let's address the recent unthinkable physical attack that confident Chris endured. An ordeal so horrific that it has left our community reeling from the injustice that has been inflicted upon one of our own concerned activists and a citizen that you keep laughably pitching as anti-police of all things. Imagine that you pitch Chris, confident Chris, as anti-police. Imagine that you have it in your own records, in your own files, that you've been doing all manner of operations to kneecap the police. So we really are asking ourselves, who in the literal hell is actually anti-police, OSA? Who? Because y'all know the answer to that question. And y'all know that answer with full-blown receipts, bankers' boxes filled to the top. As if the idiots from the FBI didn't go in there to your building, come up with all manner of boxes, Snow White operation. And then y'all really told them, oh, you indicted 11 people, including Mary Sue Hubbard. But you know what? We really have changed our ways. Because now we tapped Mike Rinder to do the job and to restructure the Guardian's office. And Mike Rinder is so changed, is so different than the GO. You have no idea, FBI, how much these people changed. And just like that, apparently the entire FBI just went with that fake AF pitch, despite decades of more and more and more examples, blatant examples AF, as if Ron Miscavige Sr. wasn't being surveilled by a van that had all manner of weapons, including silencers, FBI. Including silencers is the type of surveillance being imposed on anybody that says no to anything. Imagine that. Instead of achieving y'all's intended outcome, this blatant act of aggression, of which y'all may or may have had anything to do with it, has actually, matter of fact, galvanized our community like never before. So in the face of adversity, yeah, Chris truly embodies the courage and resilience that defines our community. And this latest highly coincidental situationship, literal disgusting clip that I've seen it once because it's so disgusting. It's so nauseating to see. That level of horrific assault just coincidentally happened a block away right after the LAPD leaves to do a welfare check. Literally, kid you all not. We've shown you the receipt. So it's not like we're just making it up, right, OSA? We're not just making it up. Y'all are getting caught left, right, and center. Literally. This has now united us even more in our unwavering pursuit of truth and justice. We deserve to know the truth, and y'all have all the paperwork to show everyone what in the hell the receipts are. The truth is right there. Y'all are so stupid that your literal supposed God told you to write everything down and video record everything you do internal. So if we are really that crazy and unhinged and couldn't be more delusional, by all means, show the LAPD the receipts. The receipts of what goes into those PC folders. The receipts of what goes into y'all's looking system from hell, where all of the executives were watching and listening and critiquing, right or wrong, Claire Headley. Did you ever do much on the looking system? Did you have anything to set up with that? What were you able to hear? What were you able to see? How many minors were getting interrogated? How many? How many RTC critiques? How many internships from that y'all had to be the final approval? I really need to get this passed by the RTC rep. She really needs to watch this video to see me doing an interrogation on a minor and get me a grade. Yes or no? We adamantly refuse to be misrepresented by Scientology's so-called black propaganda machine, who are still at it fair gaming folks, as if that ever has ever stopped. LOL. How much it's worth the promise from people that are into trafficking kids all across the world, FBI? How much is it worth that they promised you that after you did indict them, they really did change? After you have spent apparently, allegedly 18 years with competent whatevers that really are talking to the FBI, that really have told everything there is to know. Imagine that. So is it the FBI that thinks it's so normal to have kids bondaged, dead bondage up to their ears, passports locked up? They don't give an F. Kids locked up, being interrogated while adults watch for hours and hours on end, and they still don't give an F. False imprisonment of minors, and they still don't give an F. Systemic laundering of felonies, like Miriam's dad, who literally said, yes, I did this. Yes, I did that. Yes, I also did this, and then that. Was that not written in time, place, form, and event? Because that's what L. Ron Hubbard said to do, wasn't it? Right time, place, form, and literal event of what happened. Self-incrimination is all y'all sell inside of your damn hotels, at the expense of kids who get ensnared and told, like in the case of Miriam, your needle did float. You should be floating right about now. Everything your dad did just floated, and get over it. And why are you still stuck in it? Did you do something like that to someone else in another lifetime? Imagine that the FBI supposedly knows that, allegedly knows that till today, and they're still sitting there outside the hotel being really pressed about, oh my God, you know, we really couldn't infringe on our right to do whatever, because I guess that's what the interpretation of the First Amendment is. Get yourself a hotel, put a cross in front of the hotel, and then all of a sudden, where's the Constitution? Where are the laws? Why are minors implicated? FBI, Crimes Against Children Unit. Y'all at that unit, what the hell do you do all day? Just sit there and, you know, take calls that you never answer? Or what? Why are all FBI investigations in America getting bungled? I.e. Jeffrey and Ghislaine. I.e. Larry Nassar. I.e. plenty of the Mormon cases. Plenty of the other institutions that, as much as they purport to be just like everyone else, y'all are no one else. In Scientology, they're like no one else, you guys. So before everybody goes, oh yeah, this really does happen in a lot of places. Well, in a lot of places, it might happen, but only in Scientology does it get documented the way they do. There is no other institution that has the so-called audits. We've checked. Nobody does it like them. No one in the whole wide MF world does it like them, because maybe not everyone is following the full writings of a convicted, indicted felon with a full straight face. Just there, you know, let's do the next thing. Let's just really implicate ourselves, because, you know, as long as needles float, a lot of things happen. What was really actually MF happening? Parents that subjected us to this. Because yes, believe it or not, the kids that got ensnared in this need to know from our parents what in the hell they did. We don't give an F what Debbie Cook did. We don't give an F what Mike Winder did. That's between you and them. So yes, don't get this twisted. The parents brought you in. The parents gave you the passport. The parents couldn't be more implicated. They were the financial benefactors of kids getting dumped in Clearwater, Florida, including but not limited to the Fort Harrison Hotel. The one that the Tampa Bay Times keeps saying is a very church where kids are having rocky childhoods. Thomas C. Tobin, get a literal life yourself. You couldn't be more of a pathetic imbecile to be really pitching that with a straight face to all of Tampa. Oh, don't worry about it, guys. Jenna Miscavige did come out, did write a book beyond belief. But you know what? Turns out that y'all at Tampa can relax. Just relax. What are y'all so pressed about? Here in the United States, we can prop up hotels where kids can be brought from all over the world, where the Tampa Bay airport is fully implicated and complicit in seeing the decades of minors that have landed in their disgusting airport, where no one in the entirety of that airport has ever seen a shred of red flag. Imagine that, you guys. At the Tampa Bay airport, you could just bring a child from wherever country the hell you want. Then all of a sudden, go. Oh, you're here for the hotel? Bye-bye. Better luck next lifetime is what we're being told by all the people that work there at that security, where I was held overnight. Imagine I was escaping the hotel. Finally, I was like, okay, washed bathrooms with muriatic acids for 6 months while I was getting interrogated by disgusting Alberto Ongaña, a disgusting, horrific interrogator that had literally been selected to go be the sec checker of security because of how horrible he was. And we all knew it. we all knew it. Oh, you want to leave? Huh? You're going to have to go 6 months with Alberto Ongaña to have his way with you, hours and hours on end every day. What are you withholding? Are you masturbating? What are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you withholding? Why do you want to leave? Don't you love it here? We didn't love it. We couldn't stand it. And yet we were trapped with our literal passports locked, with all these adults pretending we were having a very religious experience for ourselves, washing bathrooms with muriatic acid. Imagine that. All the fumes everywhere, but we were at the lowest of the low at that point. Because yes, we had the nerve that in our early 20s, literally had just turned 21 or 22, where we weren't anymore that child that was an adult. We were literally, okay, having enough strength to go, okay, I don't give an F. Put me to wash the disgusting bathrooms. Have everyone sneer at us. Like, I don't give an F. I'm leaving. I don't care. I'm breaking the contract. I don't care. Get me out of here now. I don't care. Okay, you're not going to see Lily. You're going to go over there. You're going to go get stuck in a hotel the whole day. Wash bathrooms with muriatic acid. Come wash dishes. Have everyone watch you and just, sneer at you. You're disgusting. You're leaving. How could you do that to us? But yeah, you guys, in the early 20s, a lot of us were like, no, we're not here anymore. We're getting the F out. In our late teens, Laura left. She was just turning 18 and she was like, I don't give a damn. I'm getting the hell out of this disgusting hotel. But yes, I was there at the Tampa literal airport, missed my flight on purpose because they were telling me I had to leave the state. Everybody knew me in Florida. Oh, you can't stay in Florida. You wouldn't want other people to see that you left. So yes, I tried to go to that airport and not leave immediately because I had no idea what in the hell I was doing. But I told them I was just going to leave to New York. I'm just going to go to another state, I guess. And then what, Spencer Lowry? And then what, OSA flag? How did y'all find out that I didn't make my flight? And what did y'all do to make sure I stayed there overnight with all the Tampa security team seeing us there, distressed, crying, literally out of our minds, scared out of our minds? We were told we were going to be declared suppressives, never to speak to our parents again because, we had dared to miss that flight and get out of Clearwater because, yeah, that's the level of control and manipulation these people were exerting. And imagine everyone at the FBI in Tampa just thinks that they're doing a great job. Imagine being those people that I guess have read that Tampa Bay Times says Thomas E. Tobin, rocky childhood. So yeah, I guess kids are having rocky childhoods, right? Federal agents of Tampa Bay, right or wrong? Right or wrong? This is all happening under y'all's noses, in case you don't know that. In case y'all are so unaware, in case you don't have no TV screens, in case you have no way to see how many passports of kids go through that airport. Or maybe they just land and then, oops, oh, they landed, so they already got vetted in another airport. Like it wasn't the case with me, right? Because I wasn't getting vetted in Tampa. I was getting vetted in El Paso, Texas. As I was brought across the border, did speak to an immigration person with my mother literally carrying me with an OSA letter. Oh yeah, this kid is about to be very, very religiously volunteer himself. Is he going to go to school? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Then why the hell did I not finish past 7th grade, Sandra Gill? Why? Why? It's illegal. In case you don't know that, Sandra Gill, it's illegal AF that a child doesn't even finish high school. So miss me with the pitch that, oh, well, we did want you to get audited till class 4 and we did pay plus $40,000 that we did give Debbie Cook to make you that at 12 to keep you from school because, aren't we hooking you up? Well, you know what? Miss me with your bullshit. You weren't hooking me up. You were ensnaring me in something that I had no clue you could be capable of. At that time, I had no clue. Today I do. Today I'm perfectly aware of how far you went to keep up with the Joneses. Oh, well, if Leticia Flores does it, then I can do it too. If Lisa Marie Presley does it, then I can do it too. If Trish Duggan does it, then I can do it too. That's all it took for all of these mothers to conspire and do the same thing. You guys, imagine that. They really went with the pitch. Well, as long as we all do it together as a collective, then we're all really covered. Then we're all not doing something illegal. Check with a good criminal attorney if you didn't do anything illegal. Go get an advocate and check. If I crossed the border, if I dumped my kid in a hotel, if he had no access to his passport because either you were keeping it or Debbie Cook was keeping it or somebody was keeping it, right or wrong, it's called illegal activity. We assert our constitutional right to question, to express our concerns, to demand accountability for the egregious wrongs inflicted upon us and countless other minors currently ensnared by Scientology's oppressive regime that no minor can expect to consent or be a willing participant of. So I know that's breaking AF news to you FBI agents, and to you Thomas E. Tobin, and to you Robert E. Mangle, and to you Debbie Cook, and to you Marty Rathbun, and to you Mike Rinder, and to all of the executives that aren't even being named, because who literally gives an F about y'all's name when y'all are just a number? A co-conspirator, 341, 342, 495. On and on and on. There's more co-conspirators than anyone can literally count. But I guess not. I guess they're all just really having a religious experience for themselves. Imagine the level of intellectual dishonesty that these people are really living with. Completely out of their minds, completely extreme cognitive dissonance AF is what in the hell it's called. And you know what? That's not the problem of all the kids that got ensnared into this and that are currently ensnared. It's simply not their problem that adults want to become that level of cognitive dissonant. Because it's called the two differences between these two groups is kids aren't capable to consent and adults can go and live it up as much as they want. No one is coming to save you from your own choices. Go look up again to what Charles Manson's followers did really learn for themselves. Cost at the most horrific, choice at the most horrific cost. Imagine that the Charles Manson people did learn that for themselves. And there's not a single Scientology parent that has learned that. Choice at the most horrific cost. You had a choice. Did you buy the course? Yes or no? Did you sign the waiver as an adult? Yes or no? Then what? In what world were you pretending that the children also signed the waiver for themselves and that they knew what in the hell they were signing? Because that's the world that we need explained today. That's literally it. That's literally it, you guys. Nothing else. Having grown up within the confines of Scientology's hotel culture, we possess firsthand knowledge of the insidious practices and abuses that have long gone on concealed from the public view. It's time to expose this toxic culture in its entirety and hold those responsible to account for their actions. To our fellow under-the-radar Scientologists who remained silent bystanders, we implore you to step out of the shadows and stand with integrity and courage. No one has the right to silence you against any and all criminal activity that may or may not have been perpetrated on y'all. All NDAs of Scientology have a sign as minors are not even valid in the face of illegal activity and crimes committed against us. Is that simple. There's no shame in acknowledging the truth and joining us in our fight for justice. We need your voices to rectify the wrongs inflicted upon minors who were robbed of their ability to consent and were told with a straight face that we were adults in small bodies. A lie that has not aged well whatsoever. And if you still don't get it, then go find the nearest mirror and see what's in the reflection and what that's telling back to you as members of those hotels, as paid members of those hotels. The path forward is clear. The time for action is now. Now, in present time, right now. This year 2024, this is the time. We will stand united and illuminate the darkness that we must come together to pave the way for the Constitution of these United States to actually be followed. There are plenty of people that have taken an oath to uphold that document. And it is imperative that those in positions of power and authority actually just do that. So all we're asking, uphold the oath you took to the Constitution. And if you really think that all kids deserved to be ensnared in the little bit of what we've gotten into in this video, I don't know if we can help you, but maybe a criminal attorney could. Maybe they could advocate for you. We are not asking for anything more than equal treatment, as it is called by the law. And right now, the child trafficking laws seem to have not been followed whatsoever, for whatever our opinion and that of the recent federal child trafficking lawsuit filed in Tampa Bay court might be worth. And yes, today, you guys, the attorneys of Scientology got schooled on something, and we're going to get into that on the next video. So it's going to be relevant to this. Why was our passports systemically confiscated? And y'all can see what's been filed on that exact lawsuit. Because yes, the confiscation of children's identities, of minors' identities. That was the standard operating procedure. Yes or no, Mike Rinder? Since you did have some sort of seniorship over Glenn Stylo, by all means, let us know what your protege was up to. Because I'm sure that your protege had to do weekly reports to you on visa matters, right or wrong. In the collective strength of our voices, we will have to then demand that there's real change and hold those accountable for the crimes committed against us and countless other minors that are currently ensnared in the exact same scheme that stole our childhoods for no legal reason. Because that's what we've been told, you guys. That's what we've been told day in and day out. Your childhood was stolen very legally. When America brought you to this state and then flew you over to another state, when America provided the reason you were not schooled, when America provided cover for your parents to get away with all of it, We would love to understand how that makes a shred of legal sense. Because so far, that's all we've been told. Oh, everything was so legal, you have no idea. The best of the best attorneys are on these cases. The best of the best attorneys are defending Scientology, so you have nothing to worry about. Everything is so above water, you have no idea. Well, yeah, little did we had a shred of a clue with the gullibility and naivete of kids. We were very easy to gaslight. Breaking news. Children are easy to gaslight, you guys. Breaking AF news. We will not rest until justice is served and our voices are heard loud and clear. And to OSA, hear this: your days of working above the law and not seeing a shred of consequence is numbered. There are literal precedents that you can go check. Operation Snow White and whatever in the hell you're calling our operation, check if that constitutes the same shit, different air freshener. Since y'all cannot evolve, y'all are still so stuck in the policy. Let's really follow whatever Mike Rinder said in this advice to really follow. This is how we used to do it. Let's just continue doing it like that. Let's all just do it like that. Whoever in the hell the CO OSA is now, what are you doing? Something very different or the same shit? Because that's what it is, you guys. These people got replaced and got told, oh, now you're the CO OSA. Now you wear this hat. Now you act in this capacity. So yes, Mike Rinder has been successfully replaced. Easily replaced. They already found someone else that wanted his job and is doing it. And so has Debbie Cook been replaced. Once by this man who was already dead, Harvey Jakes. And whoever in the hell is now the new captain of the FSO doing the same stuff Debbie Cook was up to. Where's the change? Where's the capacity of these people to change? By all means, let us know. Those of you who really have claimed to have changed and it's so different and it's so change. Where's the change? Well, all you're doing is following the policies of a indicted and convicted felon that was all about normalizing trafficking of minors at an industrial size scale, with all of his proteges running around pretending they are having a very religious experience for themselves. We are allowed to question your religious experience, given that you're having that experience based on minors that you have ensnared to come and service you. So that's being called into question fully. Why was Debbie Cook offering me up to people that could pay for, oh yeah, go get a case cracking from Serge. He just completed this course with the meter machine and he's so good at reading it. He's so good at performing. Why was that allowed? Why was I told that I needed to make this woman $100,000 a week of value of services delivered, really complete as many auditors as you can, because we really need to make more, because we really need to save a world. What in the hell world were we saving by enslaving and literally doing the most disgusting things? Debbie Cook, since you are still at it, cashing your checks, living it up, cashing your checks without a shred of conscience, why don't you call Ray Jeffrey and ask him to advise you? Why don't you do that? Is it a good idea that you just continue cashing checks and playing dumb and playing the victim and having, little Dan Harris to thank for having laundered your disgusting image? Imagine that, you guys. Imagine, Jelaine, you should really have your team contact Dan and see if you can get yourself a little interview, because I'm sure that after Dan interviews you, everyone's going to go, oh, you guys, breaking news. Jelaine was, doing so well until, she had it rough for herself. And then she turned into, trafficking minors for Jeffrey. I'm sure that would work out much better for Jelaine since she didn't do literally a shred of what in the hell you have done, Debbie Cook. You're the child trafficker. You're the one that was there for 17 plus years, living it up, recruiting minors from all over the world, sending missions to go get us. Go grab that one. We really need more people. We really need more minors to grab the folders, to take them here, to take them there, because they're really volunteers. Nobody would volunteer to work with you, a disgusting, unhinged woman. So whatever consent you thought we gave you, rest assured you didn't have it. And just because you thought, oh, well, their parents don't give an F, well, go check with them. Go check with them. And then go check with y'all's conscience, and then go check with y'all's criminal advisors that should be advising you right about now, instead of just playing dumb and going, oh, well, you're so innocent because nobody has found a shred of a thing. And Mike Rinder says it wasn't that bad. And if David wasn't beating them, everything would have been a magical, jolly old time at that hotel. The truth cannot be silenced forever at the expense of all the minors that have been enslaved and ensnared. We will continue to expose your nefarious deeds until justice actually prevails. No more MF cover-ups. Y'all can't shut us the F up. Because yes, believe it or not, the First Amendment does allow us to speak. Something we would have not known due to all the programming y'all did in that hotel. So we are aware that we can ask questions. We are aware that we can disagree with being told that we consented to everything that happened to us as children, that we were co-opted into thinking, oh yes, y'all are just part of this culture too. Y'all are also going to save our world. Well, we're pushing back on that ridiculous BS narrative. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple, you guys, because the proof is in the pudding. Y'all are seeing this in real time. The level of assault was now escalated because they learned their last little lesson with Aaron. Oh yeah, we don't want to do this in the daylight. Oh yeah, we don't want to do this while there's other people around. Well, now we're under 24-hour surveillance, OSA. So good luck catching someone that's not being surveilled. We have to surveil ourselves, or else the LAPD apparently can play dumb ad nauseum forever on end, because they continue to insert themselves in this conversation in the most ridiculous way. We don't understand that LAPD leadership. We don't understand what is the reason that y'all continue to literally bat for these people. I mean, what do they have on y'all? Or, you know, you couldn't be that pressed for money. It's like ridiculous that you're that pressed for money. So why are you still doing this? This late in the game, we're talking 4 months of egregious false reports from these people. Egregious. Doing a welfare check. What type of welfare check? What type of welfare check do you, OSA, call the LAPD for after a minor has been essayed in some of your hotels? Answer that question with a straight face. Because that's the welfare check we need to understand. If you really do call a welfare check and you do call the police and you do call them and tell them that you're really concerned for the welfare of Chris because he's calling you ducks, then by all means, let us know what type of welfare check did you call on Miriam when it was found out that a full-blown felony had been committed? Because that would be a very good question to understand for ourselves right about now. What type of welfare checks are y'all calling on yourselves? What type of welfare check? Because now we know that you do call in welfare checks. You call those welfare checks. No one's making you call it. And then you lie on the welfare check and mischaracterize that a literal joke of ducks is weaponized And all of a sudden he's deranged, and all of a sudden he's unhinged, and all of a sudden he's doing it for clicks, and all of a sudden he's anti-police. Like, y'all can be more pathetic if you tried. So we are going to escalate the level of security that we have for ourselves, because no one should be hurt at the expense of this cause, you guys. There's enough pain, enough tears, enough blood has been shed on this war of insanity that is a literal clownery from hell. There's no reason any of this happened. It didn't have to happen. Our parents didn't have to go crazy. They were made to go crazy. They were told that the New York Times really knew what in the hell the New York Times was doing when it pitched that disgusting felon as a great person to really go and read. So our parents can go to the New York Times editorial board and really ask them what in the hell they've done, putting that disgusting man on their stamp of approval. The New York Times really stands behind this, right, New York Times? That's what it means to be a bestseller, in case y'all don't know. In case y'all are so clueless at the New York Times that are like, well, you know what? As long as it sells, then we don't have any responsibility at all. I mean, our seal must be so BS that nobody cares. Well, you know what? L. Ron Hubbard did care, because he was trying to make himself a little influencer. That's what L. Ron Hubbard was after. Oh, I really want to be an influencer, you guys. I'm really going to influence a lot of people to really believe my BS. It's all it took. It's all it took, you guys. That's all it took. Dynetics, and then I'm an influencer because the New York Times said that I keep selling my BS book full of lies and BS and just stream of consciousness, in consciousness, ensnaring everybody, selling this pitch. I really have studied a lot. I really do have a lot of degrees. And as if we don't know from Jerry Armstrong himself, the type of information he released on L. Ron Hubbard, that he couldn't have been more disgusting or depraved. And imagine that's who you spend your whole entire time fair gaming, Mike Rinder. Imagine that. Those are like the first documents that started to come out. Because yes, you guys, they really did pitch that stupid biography to us ad nauseum. They had a horrendous, disgusting man that would come and blab and blab and blab. And then L. Ron Hubbard did this, and then L. Ron Hubbard did that. Dan Sherman was his name. Like, his literal tonality made our ears bleed. We couldn't stand him. Everyone was literally nauseated every time he spoke. He was just disgusting every time. But yeah, we had to take it. We had to take the joke. The joke was on all of us, Mike Rinder. And we ain't laughing. So as much as you've gone into as many podcasts as you can get a hold of to really sell your little pitch about how, you know, it's all so crazy, but it's also so benign, and it's also so this, and it's also so that, and you just shuffle your feet all the time, and you don't say anything. And you just throw around your little white privilege, and all of a sudden, that's all we get, you guys. A cis white privileged man shows up, and then everybody just goes, and he makes no sense, and he contradicts himself every other word, but, yeah, oh my God, you really sound like you know what in the hell you're talking about. Well, you know what, Mike? You did know what in the hell you're talking about, because you're too intelligent to be that dumb. And that's your problem. You can't just blame this on stupidity. You actually have to look in the mirror and see, why did you do L. Ron Hubbard's publicity? Why were you his personal publicist pro bono? Because that would be really good to understand. You could have gone to, you know, Steve Jobs, done his PR. Then I'm sure you would be a gazillionaire today. Because stupid, you're not. Stupid, you're not. You could have gone to Apple and literally become gazillionaire. But you chose L. Ron Hubbard. You chose L. Ron Hubbard as a full-grown man, mind you. Full-grown man that you were for as many decades as you did, as if you didn't spend half of your literal life preaching this shit. And then after you left, you're still kind of preaching it. You should really check at those things that are on the public record with you really going to be the PR stuntman of convicted felon L. Ron Hubbard, who you knew all about. As if you didn't fair game Gary Armstrong because he was going to, pop your little delusion of who your little daddy figure was. Oh, L. Ron Hubbard. I really did get told he was amazing. Did you read his disgusting things that he wrote? Or did you just not read those? Because plenty of people have read them. They're just a simple GTS away. You just Google the affirmations that L. Ron Hubbard was using because he was a nobody, because he was a psycho, he was a disgusting degenerate. But apparently, you're still goo goo gaga for him. So imagine that at least David has the excuse to be goo goo gaga for L. Ron Hubbard because he's still stuck at the hotel. But you're not. You've been out plenty of time. And yet you've reconciled nothing. Damn. Hope more of this fair game doesn't continue to just proliferate, you guys, because it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We're playing by the MF rules, exactly as the rules state, LAPD. Peacefully protesting on a sidewalk. That's all we can do. And yes, you guys, thank you for holding space for all of these horrible things we just discussed. And guess what? All we have the right to do after everything we just discussed in this video, passport getting locked, Debbie Cook being unhinged, video recording and disgusting things, laundering felonies for have no rights. Do you think we're owed a case? Do you think you can just pick up a lawyer and be like, I need a case done for me? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this was a very unfair situation. So can y'all just really bad for me? Okay, bye. No, we don't have the right for that. We don't have that right. We literally don't have it. No lawyer in America owes us shit. Nothing. Not even the FBI, because they have prosecutorial discretion. So it's their discretion. It's fully up to them. We can wheel and squeal and be really crying a river, and doesn't matter, because that is how the law works. So we know that. We've had to come to terms with that fact as full-grown adults that we are now. So we're not really pressed. But as we stated in what we said yesterday, and in response to what Kelly Copter wrote on her community tab, I did post it yesterday. It was on the community tab. The one that's called Betrayal Blindness. The wheel of abuse is alive and well inside Scientology hotels and commercial buildings. The betrayal blindness is a painful reality. The rawness of our pain is tangible, and facing the harsh truth is an excruciating journey. Our lives, childhoods, and families have been brutally shattered. This is not at all breaking news to all of you in our communities that have taken the time to hear our plight of us becoming ensnared inside the Scientology hotels and commercial buildings. Engaging in this process is almost unbearable. And I do have a splitting headache right now, you guys, just full disclosure. We shouldn't be burdened with this task, as we lack the power to correct the systemic injustices inflicted on kids, which as of this year 2024 remain largely unacknowledged, let alone repudiated by adults, swayed by the pitch that an indicted convicted felon was apparently and it still is, an American-bred god. The horror of kids being forcibly confined, told that they deserved unspeakable acts due to breaking an absurd so-called duty rule, blamed for being essayed, is beyond defense. And that is a fact, it's not an opinion. Our survival is a testament to an unknown reason, as many childhood peers have succumbed to the extreme side effects of growing up amid this recklessness normalized within Scientology hotels and commercial buildings. Mike Rinder, Claire Headley, and Debbie Cook actively participated in the systemic cover-up and laundering of, including but not limited to, felonies against minors, all done at an industrial scale for profit and tax write-offs. I was used, starting at age 12, to mine data, including heinous felonies from adults, claiming it's their religious right to exploit and monetize children such as myself and plenty of others that were used in the exact same capacity. All done with video recording and transcriptions, which is literally leaving not a shred of room for denial. The Nile is a river. So all of these crocodile tears coming out of all of these executives are going right there in their own made-up rivers of denial that they propped up for themselves. L. Ron Hubbard aimed to implicate his proteges to ensure unwavering loyalty. And tragically, it worked. Facing evil is a challenge that Hubbard counted on to keep his scheme under wraps. And his proteges continue to benefit from that cloak. The one thing man can't and won't confront is evil, is what L. Ron Hubbard did say. And he was counting on that not to be called out. While some may want to view these predators through rose-colored glasses, judgment belongs in a court of law. It should have access to all our PC folders and all the video recordings from all the data mining operations and boundary-less so-called audits dictated by Hubbard and carried out by proteges groomed to pretend, abusing kids who are told they are adults in small bodies and therefore with full impunity is a religious experience they are having for themselves, no less. Thinking about torturing kids is beyond what our brains can handle, let alone the systemic abuse is on an industrial size scale. No child ever deserved such torment, and the blame extends far beyond the 3 individuals mentioned above. Those are the ones that y'all know, but trust, there's plenty more. Plenty more. So don't think that it's no one single-handling out nobody. There's a whole entire org board with entire names, with entire posts, with entire exact things that they were doing. So before everybody goes, oh, everybody was doing great, and this was the Boy Scouts where everybody's supposed to be really tying knots on the side and learning. No, this is not this institution. The Boy Scouts may have been infiltrated by disgusting child abusers also, but, at least have the plausible deniability that they were there to tie knots and learn things on the outside. That's not the level of plausible deniability these people have. No child ever deserved such torment, and the blame extends far beyond those individuals mentioned. They fostered a horrific environment, working together in a criminal conspiracy, breaking laws, recklessly endangering minors with full impunity, all acting as a team, coordinating thereby and therewith as people who cooperate one with another to push forward a common purpose and getting along so great. That is their definition. That is literally their definition. Let's really coordinate. Let's really be all a team. Let's all really work together in a conspiracy. The era of pretending it was all a mere whoopsie is over. And a golden age of reckoning is overdue because nothing changes if nothing literally changes. And so far, that's all we have. Nothing changing, nothing changing, nothing changing, and nothing changing. All Scientology parents made deals with the Scientology executives to expose their kids to a technology that's indefensible by the literal rules of engagement as pitched by L. Ron Hubbard. Rules familiar to insiders and that somehow haven't been exposed. Countering the sanitized short stories and half-truths that are currently on the public record being used to sanitize their actions that are in no way, shape, or form sanitizable. As long as people deflect criticism as a personal attack, Darvo, nothing will change. And children will continue to suffer under this horrific hotel culture that systemically ensnares kids who cannot consent and who are not willing participants. Anyone who role-played L. Ron Hubbard, including myself at 12 years old, were unwillingly made to participate in villainous acts, including but not all limited to locking people up against their will. There are no good or bad auditors. Everyone was told to mimic Hubbard's instructions without alterations. For fuck's sake. Mike Rinder targeted and fair gamed any kids wanting to leave, while Debbie Cook trafficked children, using them as cash cow pawns, selling us to those willing to pay to be serviced by underage kids. It's undeniable, and yes, it really does suck to be us. Wrecked and paralyzed by agony and struggling to reconcile this vile truth of all Scientology adults that have become central figures in this abominable betrayal of literal trust. Because that's all this is, you guys. We trusted our parents. As a child, you're brought into this world to trust. Your literal survival depends on how much you trust your parents. And if they've been induced, if they've been seduced, if they've been sold to really follow the New York Times bestseller author, indicted convicted felon L. Ron Hubbard, then it sucked that much. That is a literal fact. Scientology adults defend the indefensible, make it make sense. Make it make sense. We do not comprehend it. And all trauma survivors in our community are able to see straight through the PR veil, perpetuating the wheel of abuse. The gaslighting tricks do not work on us today, that we are adults in adult bodies. So make it actually make sense for once. For once in your literal lives, make it make sense. The criminal activities committed against us cannot be undone by empty AF apologies. And with our better luck, to even those that are hard to actually find. There's no apologies, and what in the hell can anyone do with an apology? When that's that level of betrayal, apologies are empty AF. Growing up in Scientology, being told that we were adult participants in a hardcore role-play scene under the guise of saving a world adds to the pain of the unthinkable being normalized at an industrial-sized scale, all the while making us believe that we were y'all's willing and fully consenting pawns. The agony exponentially increases, and this is the point where I wanted to read this, you guys. Knowing these horrors which all kids continue to be exposed, persist as we speak in Scientology's cruel culture. That's what's giving us a splitting headache. Because, again, we see them act reckless with people in now our community. And what do you all think they do behind closed doors? By all means, take a stab at it. All of it is all fully alive and well. This culture of child abuse, systemic child abuse. There are no shred of guardrails that have been instituted. Because y'all seemingly are deathly allergic to the word no. Deathly allergic. They don't want to be told no. No, it's something they will not even think about. So imagine that. That as kids, we were denied the word no. A full-blown sentence, the word no. And all children are denied that right that they do have for themselves in America. That purports to have a law about how everyone can really say what it, well, there in those hotels, you can say no. You want to go in session? No. Well, then what's wrong with you? Then you really need a session. Then you really need to come with us. Then you're really going to get interrogated. So make it make sense, Scientology adults that participated in this culture. All of you go out there and try and get pity for yourselves. Oh, I was really scammed as an adult, you guys. Let me really tell you my story. I really have a lot of stories about me being scammed as an adult that I'm sure would be very entertaining for all of y'all to consider. Meanwhile, who was propping up the child hotel culture, you guys? Because if you think that there are adults that are not implicated, you're wrong. You're completely and utterly wrong. They all came to the hotels. They all got implicated. All the kids was everywhere. So if we don't have relatable recent Kansas, there is no org where kids were not made part of this scheme. Everywhere, in every state, they did this. In every city, they did this. In every continent, they've done this. Where are the Scientology parents advocating against the abuses their children endured and continue to be exposed to? Where in the hell are the Scientology parents? Who apparently all get a pass because they've done nothing wrong and they just were following their religious experience. Where in the hell are they in this year 2024, having also had zero cognitions, just like Mike Rinder? So again, you guys, this is not Mike Rinder and Pedro Gil and every last Scientology parent that has not repudiated this on the public record, because that's what we're holding up right now. In case y'all really want to go, oh my God, you're so mean to us. It's y'all's public record that's being put in front of y'all. And look, this is how empty it is. Your repudiations can be summed up in this post-it note. There is nothing here. Where's the repudiation? Where's the, I really effed the F up. I really did become deranged. I really did buy the pitch that all these kids were adults. I really do need to do something about that because it wasn't okay that we all did it. Y'all are not alone. Y'all are in the company of the people that you gave your kids to. So don't feel alone. Don't feel singled out. This is not a singled out situationship. This is a situation where y'all are in the same bucket. Literally, that's the bucket. Psh, all of you are there. All of you are there. But I was an executive, but I was at the bottom of, did you give a child to this operation? Yes or no? Okay, well then go in the bucket. From there, you can figure out your context to how your situationship fits in that bucket. And I'm sure that a criminal attorney could help you a lot figure that out. I'm sure they would love to get paid hefty retainers to really sort you out. Because that's what it's called, you guys. They are deserving of an advocate, so go get that advocate. Go have them start to figure out what in the hell is the defense for this level of depraved, disgusting abuse taking place day in and day out in these hotels. Because yes, they can't have anyone go in and see anything, because why? It's a 501c3 and they're supposed to really help everybody, but they're so fucking selective about who in the hell goes in. So how can they really be helping everybody? IRS commissioner that did grant this thing because Mike Rinder, David, and Marty told you to. Because this is all state sanctioned. And the most disgusting thing of the betrayal is when you realize that all these men that were being lured into the hotel to be literally audited by minors like myself, like Natalie Galbiati, like Iride Pallavicini, like Ana Luisa Rodriguez, like Emanuela Sanz, like Paola Sanz, like more minors than I can even name in my head right now, you guys, because that's what they like in that hotel. Oh my God, you're so young. Oh my God, you're so smart. Oh my God, you're such an adult. Oh my God, you're really proving L. Ron Hubbard's point. Why the deflection, the self-pity, and reluctance to acknowledge their complicity? Why the duplicity? Their hands are stained with the blood of sacrificed childhoods. Yet they preached ad nauseum about how clean hands is all you should ever need to be really happy. A hypocritical notion that we, even with our 7th grade education, can now fully discern. Nothing is personal, Mike Rinder, so stop making it about yourself. You were there. You saw what you saw. And you are part of the executive context. Nothing was accidental in those hotels. All executive postings were deliberate. So your public record and sanitized short stories are incongruent with the truth. That is the long and short of it. Debbie Cook portrayed herself as a victim, yet until she was placed inside a literal trash can, did she get prompted to have a second thought about her role in the horrific hotel from hell that she ran with full impunity, nearly 2 decades. These executives claiming expertise in ethics are incapable of genuine introspection and are speaking to the facts once they cross the threshold of the hotels where they were having very religious experiences for themselves. How does that make a shred of sense? How are none of these executives had a shred of self-introspection? Because again, you guys, it's not just Debbie Cook, and it's not just Marty Rathman, and it's not just Mike Rinder, and it's not just David Miscavige, and it's not just Claire Headley, and it's not just Angie Carino-Smith, and it's not just Angie Blankenship, and it's not Yvonne Kellerhouse, and it's not just Paul Kellerhouse. It is all of them. It's literally all of them. And they know exactly what they were responsible for and what they did. Each one of them does know that for themselves. It doesn't make a literal shred of sense in this year 2024. Actions, not just words, define truth. So pretending that willingly implicated adults in a criminal conspiracy were saving a world from inside a hotel that was being used to torture children makes absolutely no MF sense. Or does it? Each day of distraction from exposing the abuse of kids, endured in audits, ethics handlings, and grooming courses adds to the plummeting credibility of all of those adults that are fully implicated. Our childhoods were fully wrecked. And pressing facts only serve to emphasize the discomfort of exposing the truth, which apparently they are all still pretending no one can handle. We can handle the truth. By all means, try us. It all gets constantly whitewashed because people are uncomfortable or uncomfy. Uncomfy. OMFG, really? That's all it takes? Adults can deal with the consequences of their adult choices, and kids who truly do need and deserve advocacy is disproportionately missing AF. We can't seem to be able to count on the adults that participated to want to cooperate in ending the systemic abuse of minors, normalized by all Scientology grown adults implicated. I mean, imagine that, you guys. Who is helping of these adults that participated? Who is helping to cooperate in ending that systemic abuse? We've said plenty times, come clean to the FBI Crimes Against Children units. Immunize your damn selves. Cut a deal on your under oath testimony. Just quick FYI, the feds won't be cutting any deals with people that only selectively recall. You have to reveal every last nauseating detail of what y'all were doing to kids inside of those hotels, day in and day out. It's the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help us, literally God himself. Please, we're begging on our hands and knees. Anything less is literally continuing to perpetuate systemic institutionalized crimes against children, and all adults have to deal with that every day that goes by, with the wheel of abuse just continuing to go round and round. So, last but not least, Scientology parents and executives, why don't you try making it less about yourselves and instead make it about the kids ensnared in the same abuse you once condoned? Is that too much to ask today? The year is 2024. We're in February, so let the record reflect that. That is the time and the place. And we're right here in present as fuck time. So come to present time, all of you that have been told to really go to your backtrack and really go check on something back there. Come to here, to this day, to this conversation. Have that conversation with a shred of spine. Start advocating for your damn self. All of you who are really thinking that, oh, I can't wait to just go to the grave with all my secrets, will really double check on that. Because who keeps benefiting from that level of inhumanity? Because that's also getting added to y'all's freeloader bill. So y'all are in a continual, perpetual karma freeloader bill from hell. That I don't know if some of y'all would even have enough years on earth to even make a dent on the level of damage that you have impugned yourself with, as you got ensnared in this disgusting hotel culture that America has brought to all manner of shores all across the world. And that's how we're ending this. So they're attacking Chris. We're calling them out even more. And we're calling now not just OSA. We're calling out all Scientology parents now. All of them. All of them. No one's going to wait for you to really figure out your decision and really go and deal with your trauma. You're being confronted with what you need to be confronted with, and make it make sense real quick. And all of you under the radar, oh, I really don't want to disconnect. Well, figure it out. Figure it out quickly. Why don't you want to disconnect is the question. Why? What are you connected to? What are you holding on to? And are you literally donating so that this wheel of abuse can just continue? Because every last shred of dollar that you're giving to this wheel of abuse is what should be really be considered in how implicated every single one of you is. It's just the facts. Okay, so how much did you donate? Got it. So how many kids did you donate? Got it. So how many felonies did you launder? Got it. See, FBI? Just 3 things. And then that's it. Just ask those 3 questions of every last Scientology parent and executive. Just 3. Just 3. Keep it simple AF. These people are very good at playing dumb. In a second, they'll be playing dumb. And you know what? Nobody has that patience anymore. That patience has fully run out on the heels of somebody getting assaulted right after the LAPD chatted. And then all of a sudden, we're here. We're stuck in nowhere land, you guys. So let's go through some of these comments. Atkins in Texas, no more kids in Scientology. Thank you, Atkins. And I really appreciate the Texas community, and shout out to Pearl Snappy that is literally out there and auditing them, and they're not liking it. But, you know, since our personal story has roots in Texas, you know, like the old saying says, don't mess with Texas. Well, I got a little Texas blood in me because my grandma was from there, you guys. So Skyrider 140, preach. Thank you so much, Skyrider. I really appreciate you guys holding space, because I know I can't, you guys. I mean, after processing everything that we've been through for the last few days, like I said, it's like, damn, like we don't get a break. There's no breaks with these people. They're just working 24/7 on how to ruin things. And again, because what? Because their questions are being, their hotels are finally getting questioned. And they don't like losing control of the narrative, a narrative that cannot control, because no one's losing control of a narrative that is the facts. That they don't like being called out. They don't like being on tape. They don't like, you know, being told no. And it's just not sustainable to run a whole 501c where no child that goes inside the 501c can say no. Make that make sense right now, IRS commissioner. Literally, you make it make sense. Why are children ensnared in this hotel chain being told that when they say no, they're going to get in trouble? What type of 501c is that? Because that's on you. JLM Tick. Serge, you can do this as you want. I wish I could be more, but hopefully it could be towards a body cam. Thank you. All of you should be wearing one for safety now. They're about $80 and they're part of your gear. That is so sweet, and absolutely, you couldn't be more correct, you guys. Those are the type of, you know, escalating self-protective methods that we can use for ourselves. We're now gonna be getting a body cam like that, so that we're always under 24/7 surveillance. All of that information is going to a cloud. No matter how much they come and F with our cams, they can't get our footage. And God forbid they could keep being unhinged and unable to get reined back in on their schemes. God forbid they keep escalating. So I really do appreciate that so much. I mean, that's the thing. That's the difference, you guys. It's like, we are on the flip side. And I know that all of this is very hard on all of you, on your nervous system, especially because it is unthinkable that this has been allowed to just run rampant. But, you know, it is unthinkable to be on this flip side where we are being heard, we are being supported, and we know all of y'all got our backs. So, and it's like such an incredible, diverse community that we have. And that's, no one here's a follower of nobody. This couldn't be more the opposite of the cult, truly. Yes, we're coming together. Yes, community is very powerful. If there's anything you could take from L. Ron Hubbard is he had a network of that community. And yes, as a community, they did get a lot done because everybody literally optimized everybody inside of the community. Never mind that everyone in the community is a pawn because everyone's under contract, because everyone's under, loyalty checks. And no one's asking anyone here for loyalty. We're just appreciative that you will take the time to hear our plight, to share and hold space for these conversations, to send a message of support and let Scientology know that, we are believed and that, all their campaign to make us feel like we deserved it all is coming undone AF, because it's not that complicated. I mean, this literal video alone has shown how uncomplicated it all actually is. We don't have to talk ad nauseum. We don't have to talk for the next 10 years and really figure it out and whatever. It's like we're asking for all 21 and under to get out of that hotel. We're asking the LAPD to really get their ducks in a row, in a literal row. They have the power. They know how to enforce laws. We don't. We don't have that power. We didn't have that oath. We don't get paid to do that. So we're only exercising our rights. That's the only option. Chris even offered to give Odo a bunch of money. Yeah, you guys, but remember, I mean, it's so hard to explain like their level of narcissism that they are stuck in that hotel. Odo goes, ew, disgusting. Like, I'm disgusted by your help. I don't want anything, because that's how they feel. Do you know the status of the current lawsuits against Miscavige? Well, yes, you guys, and we're going to talk about that, about what happened in court today in the next live that we're going to do shortly. So we're going to get more into that soon, but thank you for reminding me about that. They raided the FDLS compound and ripped kids away from their mothers. I wish they could bus onto these hotels. Yeah, well, I wish they could all just, have a serious talk with serious conversations and serious reality checks done on all the parents. I don't want to rip up their kids from them, but they really did need to be told that whatever in the hell they're thinking they're doing and they're fully entitled to do shouldn't be happening. Shouldn't be happening to their kids, and somehow we need to get that message into those people. As concerned citizens, we are allowed to raise those concerns. And in what world can anyone really say that we're doing something wrong when we are raising valid concerns based on our own personal experience in these hotels, when we were taken before fools, for gullible, naive fools as kids? And that is just unacceptable. Like, adults need to advocate for kids, and there's just no other way around it. Thank you, Nina. Thank you so much for joining us and your nice comment. Alexis, question: why do you use the name Cook when her last name is actually Baumgarten now? I would think that you could want people to find the info when they search her and search her new life. Good point, Alexis. I mean, she always, even when she was married to Wayne, Debbie Cook was the type of bitch that didn't want to have Baumgarten in her name. She was never called Mr. Baumgarten. She was never called Mr. Cook Baumgarten there. So I guess for whatever many years I was under that woman, she was always Mr. Cook, which now I should just call her Mr. Crook, because that's all she is, a crook. But thank you for showing that. And yes, you guys, this is the way you spell her name. And there's all manner of info. And she's living it up, having a little business for herself and cashing checks and, doing great. OSA, aka Guardian's Office, has no morals. They are dangerous and will hurt anyone in order to protect their crimes. Yeah, I mean, they have been known to do that. They have been known to do that. And they've been known to also have, a situation where their victims couldn't afford to be on surveillance for 24/7. Their victims couldn't afford to have an audience to report on what was being done to them. So times have changed for OSA being able to just run unhinged, whatever the hell they want. Those are not the days today because there's all manner of technology that has equaled out the playing field. And as long as they're doing corrupt things, they're just digging themselves further into a hole. And if any of their attorneys had a shred of sense in them, they would be reining them back instead of letting them run amok. That's right, Martha. She does run a business out there in Texas. So I think some sort of marketing business or something. She's really good at it, you guys. Like she's good at marketing and pitching and lying and making everybody that's a piece of shit look good, imagine. So I'm sure she has a high paid retainer for her services. Helicopter, so much respect for you, sir. Your voice gives me strength in this whole icky mess. Thank you, Kelly. Well, your voice gives me that strength as well. We're all navigating through this one day at a time with baby steps, you guys, because again, nothing is going to change overnight. So it's so low key. Kelly, I have been heated reading the OSA files. It's so gross. I think that. Thank you for saying that. This just made me give a deep breath, which I needed. The OSA files are disgusting, you guys. The OSA files probably are the reason that we're so triggered today, literally. It's like to know that those files are written, the level of, everything that's happening right now, it's being written in an OSA file. So we know exactly how far these people are going, how much they're typing, how much they're scheming, how much they're doing everything. Imagine that the literal FBI knows that because they did that back in the Geo days and everybody's still playing dumb and dumber. That's the only two things we ever see. Just protect yourselves. Don't go out there alone. It's literally schoolyard bullies, you guys. They're pathetic people. You know what I mean? They're pathetic people, and like, the people that are committing crimes shouldn't feel that emboldened and so like, oh, nothing's gonna ever happen. Nothing has ever happened to them. That's true. They've always been able to get away with it, but they're not gonna get away with it. There's too much oversight on them now. And we are raising public awareness, and we are having concerned, diverse community members that are having our back, and plenty of resources also are showing up that we're not even going to talk about. But, we're not defenseless kids anymore. We're not that. Yeah, Kelly, it is painful. It is painful, but racketeering 101. Whoever thought that racketeering was going to be a great religious experience, we would really like to know. We beg to differ. RICO, racketeering, influence, and corrupt organizations. And that's established by patterns, you guys. So we're really talking about patterns here. Thank you, Mommers. Thank you, Melissa. Good to see you. Gina, yet nothing has changed. No, you guys, nothing has changed. We're still exactly in all the horrible things if you heard from kids. And that's why it matters. That's why it matters that we don't literally give up. Because again, we know everything is alive and well today. And when everything was alive and well for us, nobody was raising a shred of concern over that. So the only alchemizing thing from the situation is to be at the other side of it and then raise those red flags that we now, with full blown an idea of adults that we know are so indefensible, because we didn't deserve any of those things be done to us. So I respect and adore you, sir. You give me strength. This is painful and triggering AF. Demand accountability. No more kids in Scientology. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, like I said, you guys, I mean, it's so painful, but it is, growth is painful. And we're going through this process of growth right now where we really are, growing. We're waking up to the fact, like, even this attack on Chris, I mean, it's so triggering because it just like completely makes us go back to that time when we were there defenseless and these people were getting away with it, But thank you, John. Right on time. Safety Equipment Fund. Yes, you guys. I am gonna put an Amazon wish list that you guys can help me fill if you can. And we're gonna have that exact thing. It's just like we're not gonna now, there's no reason. There's so much good preventable things. And as much as we did go into the lion's den when we were kids and we had no idea, today we get to be adults and go, you know what, we're gonna protect ourselves. And we have all of y'all advocating for us. And again, that's the strength of this community. So I really do thank you for that. And I know it comes from your heart and from caring. So all of that is so appreciated, because we're just going to continue to, respond intelligently, even to unintelligent treatment, you guys. And I think that's how we end this live today, holding space for responding intelligently, even to unintelligent treatment. We know that extremism is just cognitive dissonance. These people couldn't be more cognitive dissonant. So we are aware of that. And it's a tragedy. It's a full-blown tragedy that we don't wish no one else be ensnared with. And I know that I'm hard on the adults, but I don't want a single adult to be ensnared in it. I don't want anyone to be ensnared in it. No one. No one, no one, no one, no one should be ensnared. There should be a warning label on all of that disgusting dysfunction and labeled for what it is. And then figure out what in the hell to do in the aftermath, in the real aftermath of the aftermath of the aftermath of it all. What in the hell can we possibly do as a society to reconcile all the receipts that make not a shred of sense with what was pitched at this level of industrial size scale? Because I cannot even think of something that even comes close to this, you guys. Honestly, like what? You know what I mean? Like what we observed in those hotels, no one does it like that. No one. We can say no. That's exactly right. No one can put our MF ethics in anymore. We are grown and we can say no. And we can say no. Kids cannot consent. Simple as that. Get them out. Get everyone else sorted. That's all. Sort it out. Is it jail? I don't know. Is it amends? I don't know. I have no idea. And you know what? It's more than we can chew, literally. If all we can do is help the kids get out of that situation and red warning labels put all over it, at least we could breathe. So I really appreciate all of you guys thank you so much for your support, and thank you so much for being here, and power to survivors. We really do feel the love, and we really do feel you wanting to help, and that's what's making the difference. So this is all the wins we're having on this, and all the things that are going on are steps, the baby steps that we get to take on a day-to-day basis, because that's all we have, one day at a time. The sun rises, and then the moon, and then that's it. So we're not trying to save a world, we're not trying to clear it, but we are going to continue raising awareness over this issue. And hopefully, one day we'll have enough awareness that this doesn't just continue to be allowed to be the case. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys all very soon. Bye-bye.